Good morning. Day 8 of my Larapinta yo-yo. I'm just heading for the summit. There's a sign behind me. I've just walked up from the shelter. Didn't want to talk there. There's people sleeping. It's 4 in the morning. Oh, it's a little bit after now. All right, I'll spin the camera around when there's something to see, but I'm basically climbing up in the dark. So it's going to make for pretty average viewing, I reckon. All right, let's get up this mountain, hey? So it's about quarter to 5. I've made it up onto the ridge, so I've done the hardest part of the climb, that little steep bit up the side. Now it's kind of a fairly steady climb for the next, 5Ks, I guess. So it's looking good. The sunrise itself is about 7. The first light's around about 6:30. Okay, I'm on the last few hundred metres to the top now. I think I can see just the first touch of light in the east, so I think I've timed it pretty well. There's a tour group I passed. They actually woke me up. I heard them. I was still asleep. They went past me at 3 o'clock. They went the other side of the creek at 3 o'clock. And so I passed them about a kilometre and a half ago. They'll be up pretty soon, but they're the only other people up here, I think. It's going to be very quiet on the summit. Wow, 6:15. I've made the top of Mount Sonder. So that was 2.25 hours to get up. First light's just creeping its way across the sky. That's the higher peak over there that I'm meant to go to. It's way darker than the camera. The camera looks still. There's a few people up here now, which you can hear. Hopefully it warms up a bit now. My fingers are freezing. It's brutally cold. That's a flash new dunny down there. So I don't know if you can see that shadow. That's the shadow of the mountain. Look at that. Okay, I've been up here for a good hour and a half. I'm going to have to get down now because my fingers are starting to get really cold. And hypothermia's a chance here. This is certainly a spectacular mountain, this one. So here's the flash new toilet at Mount Sonder. So the lookout is up there. Toilets are about 100 metres from the top. That's the view from the dunny. Too shabby. So it'll be interesting how far down I have to go before I have to start shedding layers. It won't be far, I don't think. At the moment, it's still puffy jacket, thermals, shirt, gloves, and cold fingers. But it's amazing how quickly that changes. Well, this afternoon I'll be wishing it was cold. So I'm slogging my way back over to Hilltop Lookout, I think. This is the ridge kind of in front of me here, and I'm following all the way down to that creek there, if it's coming up. That's Redbank Creek. So this is that little notch in the ridge that I was looking at yesterday when I was walking along. So yeah, there is a little bit of climbing even on the descent. Not much, probably 25 metres, but still, it all counts. That's where I've come down from. So when I get down, I think the plan is I might swing out to the waterhole in Redbank Gorge. I was talking to some Kiwi blokes, and they reckon it's very stagnant, so it's green. So if that's the case, maybe no swim. I haven't got my shorts with me. I'm actually wearing long pants at the moment too, so there might be no swim anyway, unless there's no one there and I can skinny dip. We shall see. Anyway, that's a bit in my future. Got another hour and a bit of descending. So that's the trailhead for, well, the western trailhead for the Larapinta and Mount Sonder. the hut is just in there, and if it's coming up. I'm swinging down to that creek. Just there. I'm going to go up and check out the gorge, which is along there's a cleft there. Okay, so I made it down to Redbank Creek. Just going for a bit of a wander up to the gorge. See what we can see. The reports of the waterhole haven't been glowing. However, I've always known it been pretty good, so we'll see how we go when we get there. But I'm definitely up for a swim, that's for sure. And it was only an hour and a half ago. I was wondering about hypothermia, I think. So this part of Redbank Creek, it's probably, you'd call it a gorge. But the other side of the waterhole is like a slot canyon. It goes right through the range, I think. I've never been able to get all the way through because there's been too much water it's either too cold and I can't stand the cold, or there's been too much water flowing down in summer. Well, I reckon this doesn't look too bad. Bit of green stuff floating around, but that can't be too bad for you. There's a nice sandy entrance there. I don't know if it's coming up on my video. So I'm going to go for a swim. And best still, there's no one here. And there's no one coming in a hurry. So I'm going to go for a skinny dip. Okay. Just filled the logbook out. Time to yo-yo. Let's head back to Alice Springs. First of all, let's get down to this shelter and grab my pack and all my gear. Okay, back at the shelter. My stuff's still there. Okay, I'm leaving the shelter just after 12:30. Heading for Rocky Bar Gap first, where I'll top up my water, and then it'll be Hilltop. That is the plan. Alright, let's get on with it, eh? So, this section from Redbank to Rocky Bar, pretty ordinary walking. However, it does have a bit of shade, which is very unusual for the Larapinta. I think it looks like these are mallee and probably mulga. There's a bit of a mixture, and they haven't been burnt, well, for a little while. So there's actually, it's probably one of the shadiest sections of the Larapinta, I think. Well, unless you're in a gorge. Because yeah, the actual topography itself is just up and down little hills. Have got Mount Sonder out to my left, which is pretty amazing. But out here, every little bit of shade is welcome, I reckon. So I'm less than a K from Rocky Bar Gap now. So Rocky Bar Gap is where I cross back through the range to the other side. Okay, making my way back through Rocky Bar Gap. I was just here yesterday, about the same time of day too. You know, maybe an hour earlier than this. So I'm loaded up, just filled up 4 litres of water at the tank here at Rocky Bar. And now I've got to slog up this hill. It's a Hilltop Lookout camp. This is a tough climb. I'll be in the sun too. But anyway, it'll be worth it in the morning, hopefully. The view of Sonder from here is at sunrise is arguably the best on the track, I reckon. Alright, enough waffling. Start climbing, I suppose. Okay, I was up there this morning. And now I'm heading up here. It's a Hilltop Lookout camp. So I had these Spinifex pigeons yesterday. There's a heap of them just playing the track along here. Still climbing. I've got about 5 minutes to go now. I'll be at the top. I'm a little bit concerned about the cloud. I was going to cowboy camp up here tonight, but almost looks like we could get a storm. That wouldn't be ideal if I was cowboy camping. Not predicted, just predicted to be sunny every day for the next week. Gradually getting hotter. There's definitely some clouds over there. I'm assuming the weather comes from the west, though, and that looks pretty good. I don't really know. Okay, made Hilltop. Got my cowboy camp set up. I roll the dice with the clouds. It'd be very unusual to get rain. If it does, I'll be scrambling around in the middle of the night. It's just going to be awesome. All right, let's go and watch the sunset, eh? There's going to be a bit of sunset pouring tonight, I'm guessing. That's my immediate future, those mountains. Let's go and have a look at the other end. So that's the sun going down behind Sonder. All right, day 9 of my Larapinta yo-yo. I'm at Hilltop Camp. It's cooling down rapidly. The day's finishing like it started up on top of Sonder there behind me. Very, very chilly. So I can't remember what, 36.9 or something k's today. It was a long day. Started at 4 in the morning and I got up here at about 5:30. A lot of climbing too, maybe 1,400 metres. We'll see what happens when it runs through the software and cleans it up a bit. but it was pretty solid. There's two big climbs, Sonder and this one, so yeah, it would have been up there. But day was punctuated with a swim at Redbank, so that's always a good thing. And this camp is pretty spectacular up here. Hopefully the wind drops a little bit tonight. It's not too bad. But yeah, so all in all, day 9, another good one. I'll catch you in the morning for day 10. Take it easy.